Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Phillip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Cramer.
Thank you for tuning in. We're grateful to have you.
Yeah.
You know, time is a huge value and resource.
It's a huge one.
And so we hope that this is valuable to you.
Yes.
Today's topic is just Aaron and I hanging out in the studio. We're talking about first I would say, like, one of our taglines at Uncommon Wealth Partner is you are your best asset.
Yep.
And we truly believe that. As
Yeah.
financial advisors, like, we really try to help people unpack, like, what is your best asset? What is it that you get passionate about? How are you uniquely gifted?
Yes.
And then we try to build a plan around that.
Yep.
Because we feel like if you're using your giftings every day, you don't really worry about money, although you do get money, and then you don't really worry about retirement because you love what you do every day. So there's just a lot of things there that you can unpack. But if you've been around for a while, which I'm sure that you are because you're a listener, thanks for tuning in. Today we're talking about you're your best asset, but also your worst enemy.
Yes.
Yeah. When your best characteristics turn south.
Turn south or work against you.
Either way.
Yeah. Because, you always want to lean into your best thing and bring it out, but sometimes it's really easy to run to what you're good at.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And then you can really be so good at something that eventually it's bad. Or you can be in a bad situation and you use your good characteristics for bad.
Yeah.
We're talking about all of that today.
Yep.
So let's talk about what our three characteristics are that we feel like are our superpowers that make us who we are and our best asset.
So
let me tell you yours. And
I was just going to tell you. I was like, let me tell you yours, because I was like, I don't want to tell me mine. It feels weird.
Yeah, that's so good. Also, we don't write our own bios at Uncommon Wealth Partners because it just feels like we're just bragging about it.
It's anxiety and it's weird.
Yep. It's just not a good idea.
Someone can easily tell you what their strengths are. I hate that question on an interview. What's your strengths?
Yes.
They shouldn't be able to just list it off.
Yes. I love it. Okay. So Aaron's three characteristics that I would say encompass him are he is completely loyal. He's a loyal guy through and through. And if you've been around it all, you listened to the last podcast we had, we were talking about our failures.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the things. So we can almost unpack that whole thing. But you're loyal almost to a fault. And then you're a protector. You want to do what it takes. If there's somebody who's getting picked on, you're going to be there.
Yep.
No matter what, you're going to be there, which I think is great. And the other one is you're constantly learning. You want to learn more so then you can serve better. You're constantly wanting to learn more. All those three characteristics are awesome.
Well, thanks.
Aren't they?
I feel like they're good. Yeah, they're good.
They're good.
Sometimes you feel like they got handcuffs. Are they things? Good. But okay, so Phillip though. So I want to say these in order because I feel like it helps. You are an encourager. When I say, what did I say when we were talking about this? Encourager, but hype man. I feel like hype man is always better because it is people want to be around you. Yeah. And I remember first meeting you, it was I had this when I described people to you, you are really good about bringing a subject to the top of the mountain and then leaving. And you're like, dang it, I want more. I will talk a subject to death until it goes back down to the bottom of the mountain, and you leave it to the top so people leave so hyped up and ready to go. So that's your number one. I think that's encourager. And then you are a good leader. You help lead people to be better human beings, and you lead it by example too. That's really good. And then you were stupidly competitive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and to the point where I think it's cute because it's you get competitive about really silly things. I'm like, Phillip, calm down, buddy. Yeah. It's a board game.
Although you've entered into some competitions with me.
I know. And there's time I'm competitive, but I'm not to the point where board game, let's go. But I will say I come from a background where people are like that, but then it comes to throwing blows. You never want to throw a blow.
No, right.
So I love that. I love that.
Fascinating. Like I can compete with you, want you to do your best, encourage you to do your best, and still want to beat you.
Yeah, that's why you're a leader and you're a hype man. Like, yeah, like you want to, like that's why it's a fun top 3 for you.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about your loyalty. So when does that thing go south and kind of make you your worst enemy? You're your worst enemy. And I think for you had a whole podcast about it. Yeah. Is when you're doing things at the detriment to your own well-being.
Yeah.
Like you're the guy that's like, oh, you're hot. Like, let me put myself on fire. Like, so you can warm up. You're that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Like, and then I'll like blind myself to the people around me. Like, the flaws of like people. Like, it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's like, but really it gets to the point where like, it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Like, and not anything like, I'm pretty like, I'll say this openly. I know you won't, but I will. When I came over, like I was pretty open about not putting up with things that me and Brian did not see things on some things eye to eye.
Yep, right.
And there was no, that's that protector one that comes out. I was like, nope, ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And so, but like, there's just more like other things where I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. We're a good team. And it's like, and I can take myself down to like a real long hole.
Yeah.
What does I say? Like, we're talking about a 7-year path of blindness,
right.
Where other people, I'm like, I thought you would have seen that a lot longer ago. It's like, dang it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's my downside. It's
a great, like, it's an amazing characteristic.
Yeah, until someone else, like, it's amazing when somebody else recognizes it and wants to help lead that person. Mm-hmm. But it's a very easy characteristic for someone to abuse.
Take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Okay, let's go to mine.
Yeah, let's go to yours.
All right, so encourager.
Yeah, hype man.
Yeah, dude, I love it. And I think words of affirmation, if anybody knows any love languages or the 5 love languages, that's like my love language, is words of affirmation. And in that book, it says that not only the one that you receive love the most is normally the one that you show love the most.
I got to ask on that, since you brought that book up, because I like that book. Is gifts second one?
Gifts? No.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Is it quality time?
It is, probably.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you like events.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Is gifts third?
I maybe, but I like back rubs a lot. So is that touch? Then service. I don't know, man. Who knows about me? But I do know words of affirmation is
that totally makes sense. Yeah. I was just thinking about your second one because I'm like, you're really good at gifts.
Yeah.
And everything. So I was like, oh man, is that in there? But then, but I guess quality time makes sense because you do like, you're really good at like planning an event for people. Like, so then it's like quality time to make things. Right. So quality time play makes sense. Anyways, now we're going down a path. But
perfect gift for the team too, by the way.
See?
Perfect. Gift.
That's why I thought gifts were a thing, but like.
So good. Okay. So encourager. I love to encourage people. I feel like I get a little bit of extra dose. I've seen in my life where people have encouraged me and I've stepped up to a different level.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like when you encourage somebody, you can really see the full potential.
Yeah, but how's this been a downside for you though?
Yeah. So there's times where I can over encourage and then people, or even myself, then like get into some pickles.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like, oh, maybe you probably shouldn't have gone talk to that person the way that I thought it was going to go play out. Like that didn't go well.
Yeah.
And so I can encourage, maybe that's like my part where, am I encouraging even myself too much where it's like the realisticness of that is probably not going to be realistic.
Okay.
And so am I trying to over encourage, trying to else think.
I like I could see this, like, I don't know, confirm it or not. Cause it's, we always talk about it, the happiest people are in the world are the people helping people. Right.
Yeah.
So like if it and you mentioned here, like, do you run to it because it makes you feel good to encourage people?
Yeah.
Like, so it's a go-to, like, I'm not happy, so I want to go encourage people because it makes me happy to help other people.
Right. I think that's true. I mean, this is like one of those things, like, we talk about addictions being bad. It's like, try to tell me working out, like, is bad. Like, it's not. Like, no one's like, oh, working out's a bad addiction. Like, oh, I'm working out. But it's an addiction. So then for you, it's like, helping people, like, hyping people up to, like, motivate them for their day, like, can be, like, an addictive thing. Like, I want to go help people, right? Yeah, and there's been times where in my past I haven't done a good job of like making sure that the husband and wife are on the same team or same like page.
Yeah.
And I've hyped up somebody and then he comes back and it's like my wife won't let me. It's like, ooh, missed that boat,
Yeah.
So That's a way. But man, there's times where over encouraging people feels like I'm being unauthentic. And there's not one up here, but I'd say authenticity is pretty high up for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty authentic. And so sometimes when people see me in my encouragement, they'll be like, that guy's fake. So that
does happen. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, he's a salesman through and through. And it's like, well, kind of. He's selling you on life. Like, be happy at life. Your life. But like, it does. I remember that because one of my clients, it took her, it was like the third time. He's like, okay, I get it. I see it. Like, but the first time was like, I don't know yet. It seems like a salesperson. I'm like, that's funny.
That's right. Okay, protector for you. Second thing, protector.
Yeah.
So huge protector will stand in front of anybody to make sure he's protecting. That's another way that I think that this is a good industry for you because there's a lot of people that are making people victim or they're just not doing the right thing.
Yep.
In my opinion, they'll argue.
There's a lot of.
There's just a lot of shady business.
Yeah, a lot of money goes into the,
Yes,
insurance companies have a lot of money and they have a lot of good people behind them to like spin things really well.
Yeah. So you're a protector. So when has that gone south for you?
Oh man, that's a lot. Keeping my big mouth shut.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like if you're in front of somebody and they're getting taken advantage of, nobody wants to hear that.
You cannot not say anything.
Yeah, I will just say something, and sometimes it just doesn't go over well.
Yeah, that's true.
I've learned to be a little more gracious about that. And then you can get in some major arguments. That's happened before on the team.
You're protecting. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then this one's like, then like it can really halt me on business. Because if I don't know what the right thing is, I won't move forward.
Right.
Until I figure out what it is. And then and I'm not one that's like, I can't read a book in a day.
That's right. That's right. One time you did say, I should say not one time, a couple times you were like, I'm not smart. And I'm like, I think you're the smartest person in the room because you're willing to tell somebody, I don't know. And then you go and figure it out and you learn it. And then you can bring back like, hey, now I know. Like, I think that makes you the smartest person in the room. The people that I think are very foolish are the people who make it up or try to like put lipstick on a pig when they don't really know the answer.
Yeah.
Like, just admit it. Just admit you don't know the answer and you're going to go back. Even if you think you might know the answer, but you're not 100% sure, say, hey, I think I know the answer, but I just want to go back and check. I feel like that's a great characteristic.
I know it seems that way, but until you got to go win business and stuff, and you're like, why aren't you going to win business? Like, hold on, because I need to know this thing first. Yeah. It's like, no, you can figure it out later. It's like, no, I can't.
That's good. Okay, we're going to get into that. Don't get crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, leadership.
Leadership.
So, good. When it goes bad, I feel like, and you can speak to this, but I don't think it happens much, but when I start making people a pawn in order to further my own selfish gain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, this is what I need to do here, to that. This person needs to do that. And it's for my selfish gain. It's not for the team's perspective. It's not for anybody else's like goals. It's just like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen much, and I think that happens more when I'm like in a stress state.
Yeah.
But I would say when I was younger, I could tell that like, oh wait, there's something here that I can organize and lead others. And there have been times where like, it'd be nice to have this. And then I'd be like, how would I have to do to get to that?
Yep.
And it was all about me, and I was just using people almost like a stepping stool, right?
Yeah.
Gratefully, like, I feel like the Lord has kind of refined me and like, no, these aren't people and they're not tools. You want them to be on top of the mountain with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's now a different mindset because I'm an encourager. So
yeah. But I can you can use your superpowers for like when like you are a leader, a good leader naturally, so people want to follow.
Sure.
And then if you're a hype man, you can hype people in a way that like benefit you.
That's right.
So like this is where like you can see like villains and superheroes.
This can go bad quickly. Right.
Yeah, because you can manipulate a situation really well.
Yes.
Not that you do, but I'm just saying you have the ability to do it.
All those documentaries where like you hear these like cults or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, or that leader who's leading people so astray. And you're like, how is that even possible? Like, how can he even be that duplicitous narcissistic or whatever.
Yeah.
That they could do that. That's baffling to me. But you can see how those two together, oh man.
You can really start
Really,
You know, and you
really
gotta
go
self-check yourself, and
Yes.
it's hard, like, because we're all everybody's a little bit selfish. Like,
Yes.
I mean, my thing is, like, don't tell me anybody I just had this conversation at a coffee shop this morning with a friend. Look at any big organization. Not good. It's gotten too big.
Right.
The person at the top has gotten way too selfish.
Yep.
Has gotten way too big. Even like we even said, like, one person that we both respect. It's built on a oh my gosh, money guy. Super rich Hathaway.
Now you're making me blank.
I
out.
know. Dang it. I like this guy a lot.
Warren Buffett.
There we go. I thank you. That was like the biggest brain fart I've ever had in my life. And then
Ben. Now just say,
okay, Bill Gates.
oh, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Warren Buffett?
No, Warren Buffett. Oh my gosh.
Dude, Ben, this is great. Okay, go backwards and be like, hey, somebody I respect.
All right, so the guy that I respect a lot, Warren Buffett. Okay, his company's so big, he can't make all the decisions in between. Like, bad things happen in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but like, he's like one. I don't know everybody out there. I'm sure people can call him. Like, start naming people that are good.
Yeah.
But out of the big lore, you know, Warren Buffett has really kept his nose clean.
He really has.
He pays his taxes.
Yes.
He does all the right things that we know as a public. And so, anyways. But look at all the people that don't. So, everybody fights it at every level.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like, but that's where when you're.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a cool part of that. Just thinking about this one, let's say Warren Buffett. I feel like giving is a big component of that. Are you giving money? 10% is what the Bible says. But like, are you giving money away? Yeah. There is something about that is like a self-check. If you're not, and you're always like, but I'm waiting till this or that or the other, I feel like you could be subject to. But I do know that he is fairly philanthropic.
Yep.
And so I do think there is something about giving.
Yeah.
But anyway, those two things, I would say leadership and encouragement can be really...
Yeah, because at what time, like, I mean, you can see it like some of these other leaders out there, it's like, they're not leaders anymore.
They're not.
They leave the leadership behind. And it's just like...
Yep.
It's mine. Like, my ship, follow me if you want to or not. Like, kind of thing. Like, I lead this thing. Like, and it's not actual true leadership.
Gosh. Did you ever listen to the Rise and Fall of Mars Hill?
No.
Mark Driscoll? Oh, man.
Was
fascinating.
it good?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a little long, but anyway. Side note. Okay. Let's go back to your last superpower, which is constantly learning.
Yeah.
Which is such a superpower. Like, we always want to be, and Aaron pushes me more than anything, like, hey, we got to keep learning about this industry. And because we want to serve our people better, we can never be complacent.
Yeah.
Which I love that. And sometimes it's like, oh, man, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a south when you can't go serve people because you feel like you have so much more knowledge to learn.
Because you're not confident enough to, like, I was like, because you do hit this point, like, I remember reading this and, oh my gosh, is it true? Once you hit a certain level of knowledge in something, you realize how much you don't know.
Yes, right. The closer you get to it, the further away you are.
Yeah, you realize I'm like good, and so through that it can be very demobilizing.
Yeah,
is that the word?
It's humbling too.
It's humbling, very humbling, but it can demobilize you in the sense of like, I need to learn this better. It's like, okay, but you know plenty. Go help people,
right?
Because you got to go help protect people,
right?
Like, get them so they're not getting hurt because other people don't know what you know, right. And it's like, yeah, but I got to like read this book,
yeah,
you know. And so,
a good analogy of this is like a monk who knows everything about God, but he just stays in his little village and doesn't say anything to anybody. Like, no, go out and like go talk to people.
Yeah, and spread the good word, like, and then like talk about it. But so it's a good thing. It's very stressful. Like, that's the downside. Like, I'm going to die early. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, you put all these three together, man. Like, you want to protect people, and you constantly don't feel like you know enough. It's like, man, like, my anxiety is constantly high. Like, so I was like, I know, like, so if you're a client of mine, man, like, I'm probably getting called home at like 75 or something. I'm not making it to my 80s.
Here's what I'd say though. I'm grateful that we're young enough that we have a lot of years to learn and like serve our clients.
Yeah.
And we're going to constantly learn. I love that.
I know, because we tell our clients, like, I'm very, like, if I'm the same advisor today as I am in 5 years, fire me.
Yeah, right.
Because if I know that I don't know anything different, then you need to fire me.
Right. It's good. Okay.
Yours.
Last one, competitiveness.
Yeah. I love this.
We know how this could go south.
I want to know how you think of the weakness on this, because I know it, but like I want to know if you see it. I was super excited when this came out. I was like, oh, I'm totally calling you out on this one.
Yes, on the podcast.
Yes.
Even better. Okay, so competitiveness. I feel like I make everything a competition. That is like everything.
Yeah.
If we're playing like darts or we're playing like this, I'm always like, I'm still the guy. I'm 42 years old. And I'm still the guy that if you're like, I'll time you, I'm like, okay, tell me when it starts. Yeah. Oh, man.
So you should have been over at a pool party. There's another guy just like you, like he's a cop. And he's like, he was like, dude, Arron, let's go. Who can hold the breath longest underneath water? I'm like, okay, let's go. And like, I'm competitive. Like, I'll play along with it. Like, but I know like I'm going to get beat. He's like, really, like, he's a much smaller guy, very cardio in shape. I'm like, you're gonna kick my butt.
Oh man!
But
okay, so tell me how you see this.
Okay, so this is the thing. Like, you are so competitive in the sense like you don't want to be like anybody else. Like, you're like, oh, they're doing. No, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna be better.
That's true.
And so like,
so true.
Sometimes me and Phillip have conversations.
It's called
like,
pride.
Phillip, we need to do this. You're like, no, that's the common way. We're being uncommon. I'm like, Phillip, hold on. We got to do the common first. True. You're like, no. I'm like, yes. So true, dude. But yeah, that's the downside of it. You're like, you always want to take a different path that's not the common path. You know, even if it's the path that's like,
this is so easy, just do that. And I'm like,
no, let's make it harder. You know, it's like, dang it, let's do this one first.
Oh, dude, that's great.
That's why I had to bring that up. I was like,
I'm glad we could laugh about it.
Yeah, no, it's great because it does. That's where like I know in our past podcasts I always mention like. We're different in a lot of ways, but we complement each other in the sense of like, there's times where I'm like, you're like, Arron, get your butt out there.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes. You don't need to know more letters behind your name.
You don't need more letters. Like, I'm the guy, like, I love training in the dark. Like, when we're talking about training in the dark, I don't need to be in the spotlight. Let me train. And it's like, and Phillip's like, bring the spotlight on. And it's like, so like, we kind of like force each other to do the opposite. You know, like, Arron, get out in the spotlight. And it's like, so, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. Well, hopefully you got a kick out of this.
Yeah, this one's fun. It's like, but you got to think about like, I guess the whole point of this is for your listeners, like, it's really easy to run to what is comfortable for you. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very soothing to me to like keep learning and stay in my little hole to make sure, no, I'm getting better. I'm learning so I can protect people. Mm-hmm. Like, but it doesn't do any good if I'm not going to get people to protect.
Right.
Like, and then for like Phillip, like, it's like, you know, like, it's really easy to go out and talk to people all the time, but like, because that's what he's good at, you know, but like, you can easily run to things that you really enjoy and stay to that, but that's how it can be different. Don't run to what's comfortable all the time.
That's good. That's good. I don't really know how to close the podcast better than that. So you've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. Until next time, go be uncommon.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.